With the 100th anniversary of the start of the First World War this year, some truly amazing tales of courage and honour are once again being retold. And that of British nurse Edith Cavell is no exception. A vicar's daughter from Norfolk, she worked at a clinic in German-occupied Brussels, where she cared for all wounded soldiers, regardless of their nationality. In November 1914, she began to shelter 200 Allied troops, eventually helping them to escape from Belgium to the neutral Netherlands. But her actions broke German military law, and after she was caught, she was shot by a firing squad in 1915 and buried in Brussels. Following the war, her body was returned to Norfolk after a ceremony at Westminster Abbey, in which thousands of mourners attended. Today, a statue of Edith stands in London, but her supporters want further recognition of her sacrifice. They've launched a petition to have her commemorated on a new £2 coin to mark the Great War's centenary.
Well, Robert Tunmore found out he's related to a soldier who served in World War I and was saved by Edith Cavell. He's now part of the campaign to have her commemorated on a £2 coin. Good evening to you, Robert. Good to see you. Tell us about your ancestor, then.
Well, Sergeant Jessie Tunmore was in the 1st Norfolk, a sergeant there, and was one of the first soldiers that she helped to rescue. Estimated there were around 200 soldiers that went through the hospital that she ran in Belgium. And I tracked down Sergeant Jessie Tunmore's story in the Imperial War Museum, so have quite a bit of detail on that.
But that's him there. And
that is him,
There's a quote from his writings. He kept diaries and wrote letters, and one of them says about Edith Cavell, that she died for me, and by God's grace my life shall be the worthier for her sacrifice and prayers. And you're carrying on that message because you want her to be honoured on the £2 coin.
I think it's a really important thing. I'm a registered nurse as well, so Edith Cavell's story matters a lot to me, as well as having the family and personal connection. And I've wanted to work with the Cavell Trust to raise the Cavell Nurses Trust, which was a charity that was set up by the public response following her death, and it was to support nurses who'd fallen on hard times. They carry on that work today, and I've set up a project with them called the Cavell 200. So it's on Twitter, and it's trying to trace other descendants of soldiers that she rescued, so we can hear more about their stories and raise awareness, and hopefully lead to some of those £2 coins being donated to the Cavell Nurses Trust.
Because the other most famous nurse who's appeared on our currency is, of course, Florence Nightingale. Appeared on a note, not anymore, unfortunately. But do you think Edith Cavell is well known enough? Do you think more people should know about what she did? I
think more people should know, definitely. And it's surprising, the numbers of people now who have signed the petition, over 100,000, and we're looking to increase that. But you mentioned other nurses. Florence Nightingale lived till she was 90. Edith was executed when she was 49, so she didn't really have a whole life in nursing. She was out in Belgium for about 7 years before the war broke out. So during that time, she built up a very sound school of nursing with good reputation. So I think she would have been more well known for very good reasons.
Nurses or otherwise, perhaps there should be more women on our currency, apart from the Queen, obviously, altogether. Jane Austen's going to be there in 2017, but, there's still 3 more notes to play for, so maybe she should be on one of those.
Definitely.
Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you
You're
this
welcome.
evening.